Thanks, Sean, and thanks to Resource Rising Stars for hosting FireFly and allowing us to give you an update of what we're doing. We're moving at a rapid pace, and historically we've moved at a rapid pace. All the disclaimers are on the ASX platform, so please feel free to go read the 3 pages of disclaimers. Our flagship project is the Green Bay Copper Gold Project. You know, 3 things that we always look in a project, and this thing comes in spades. It has grade, it's got a 2% grade copper equivalent. It's got scale, it's got 60 million tonnes at 2% copper for 1 million tonnes of contained copper and 500,000 ounces of gold. This is a genuine copper gold project with no other elements in it. We have infrastructure in place. It's an old historic mine. It's got over $250 million of sunk infrastructure, camps, admin blocks, hydropower, plant, etc., and 20 kilometres of decline that sits there, which saves both time and money. We have invested close to 100,000 metres of drilling, and we've increased the resource by 51%, and we certainly see that growing at a rapid rate, which you'll see come through in the presentation. Been asked many times about the Pickle Crow Gold Project. We're in the final throes of a strategic review on Pickle Crow. We expect to announce something to our shareholders in the next 4 to 6 weeks on a value creative solution for Pickle Crow. It sits there at 2.8 million ounces at 7.2 grams per tonne. So in this gold environment, we suspect we're going to get some good value for that for our shareholders, so stand by. We have a management team, as Sean alluded to, that does have a proven track record of value creation. We're the people behind Bellevue, we're the people behind Griffin, we're the people behind Mincor, Andy and Silver. We know how to create value for shareholders, and a lot of that time we do it through the drill rigs. We've got 8 drill rigs, as Sean has spoken to, and a 9th's on its way. So the copper thematic. I think we're all copper bulls. Well, I'm certainly a copper bull in this environment. You know, with the decreasing copper grades, it's getting deeper, it's getting harder to discover. And I am at the cold front of speaking to offtake parties. I'm speaking to a number of corporates. I'm speaking to smelters. I'm speaking to traders. There is a real deficit in copper, and we don't even have a study. We are embarking on a study, but the amount of interest and the amount of courting that we're getting from those parties has been phenomenal. So I see this, the solution here from financing this project and having a clear pathway to production that's not terribly dilutive to our shareholders is a clear path that we're doing. And remembering, we already have $145 million in the bank, so we are well funded to a final investment decision. So just talking about where we've come from, and you know, we've had our foot firmly on the accelerator, and we're going to see this continue. Less than 2 years ago, we had a market cap of $70 million. We now sit here as an ASX 300 company of $819 million market cap. We've seen a great increase in our share price over that period, and what we believe we've just started on value creation, particularly through drilling. And if you followed, I guess, Steve Parsons and what he's been able to create over the last decade or two, he's an absolute advocate for creating value through the drill bit. As Sean said, we have 8 drill rigs going, so it is a substantial drill program. We've got 4 dedicated to infill drilling, we've got 2 to extensional drilling, and we've got 2 that on regional discoveries, which completely excites us. We've increased the resource by 51% in less than 2 years. We're due another resource update that's coming out in November or early November, which is going to show the results of some of these spectacular drilling steps that we've been achieving over the past 6 months. And as I alluded to, we have increased our land holding from a postage stamp of 56 kilometres, and we've got all the ground around us now that has the same stratigraphy, and 8 old operating VMS mines that sits around us. We've got 2 drill rigs dedicated to regional discoveries too. And as you know, VMS systems don't often occur once, they occur clusters. So a bit on the corporate slide of the company. We have $145 million in the bank, so I think that's terribly important. We've just completed a capital raise, last at 96 cents. We are well funded through the final investment decision, which is, you know, possibly towards the end of next year. We are completely unencumbered. We've got no offtake, we've got no streams, we've got no debt. So we're in a remarkable position to be able to negotiate with a number of those parties I talked to about earlier, about non-dilutive ways we can show a pathway to production. We are ASX 300 and we're covered by over 10 global banks. So when people stop by the booth, and please feel free to come and say hi, you know, what do you expect your share price to go to? I advise you to go read a number of those institutional research papers that, you know, the average price target on those is about $1.70. So please go and read those. We are very heavily institutionalised, led by BlackRock. We're 60% institutionalised, led by BlackRock and Regal. And I guess board and management have a fair bit of skin in the game, owning 8% of a project of this company, which is capped at 810 million. I won't spend too much time on this slide, but basically it's a proven track record with a number of those directors and senior executives. Once again, the team behind Bellevue, the team behind Mincor, Griffin Minerals, a number of companies that have performed really well and made our shareholders a lot of money, which is the reason we've got such a heavy institutionalised register. I think importantly, and not least to say, is that we're now establishing a team of mine builders in country. We've got people there that are well experienced. We do have a fully operational mine, so it's really important that we start collating that team that is going to take this through to development in the next sort of 12 to 18 months. What's really attractive about this project is just the high grade and thickness of the deposit. There are two really distinct styles of mineralisation that sit here at the Green Bay Copper Gold project. We have a high grade VMS system that sits above a broad stockwork zone, and as you can see, the upper VMS system there has spectacular intercepts of 10 metres at 12%, 5 at 12, 3 at 11, 11 at 9. These are really exceptional intercepts, and we have all the infrastructure to get to this ore body already. We have 5 or 6 platforms, and then the broad lower footwall zone, which traditionally is lower grade, but as you can see, those grades sit comfortably in any high grade deposit, and they are broad and very thick. 26 metres at 5, 86 at 3. These are true thickness, and these haven't come out of historic databases. This is FireFly drilling, so we think we're on to a winner. Just want to spend a little bit of time about the scarcity of this project. We do have a really attractive commodity mix. We are a pure copper gold play, and we're in a leading jurisdiction, which I'll come to in a minute. But we are fully permitted from an environmental assessment perspective for a 1.8 million tonne per annum processing plant. We achieved that in 45 days, so we are permitted. We have capital in the ground. That's $250 million. So that brings the number of projects on a worldwide scale down to a limited number. Then you add the grade in to what we've got. And then we are the last man standing of a project with all those items listed above, with a grade of greater than 1.5%, infrastructure and such a large tonnage. We are the last one standing that isn't owned by a producer. So that should tell you something from a corporate perspective about the amount of interest we've got. What we're aiming to do, we want to be somewhere in that 40, 50, 60,000 tonne per annum copper space, and that's a genuine mid-tier producer. And as you can see from an ASX and TSX perspective, there are very limited opportunities for you to buy a pure copper exposure on those platforms. And they're getting taken out on a regular basis. MAC just got taken out, or in the process of getting taken out. So here we are in Newfoundland, eastern maritime of Canada. It is a genuine Tier 1 jurisdiction here. We are now number 6 on the Fraser Institute from a mining perspective. And I'm just, my homeland of WA, which sits now at 17, and I can really understand why. We received environmental assessment release in 45 days. That is just phenomenal. In any jurisdiction, you just will not see that. So the government is really supportive of what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve, and we've got 100% community support. A lot of the questions I've got coming by the booth today is about the government and how we're achieving things. And when I say this, they're just dumbfounded. But this is a genuine Tier 1 jurisdiction. Just quickly on this slide, we are a full operational mine. We've got the infrastructure in place. We've got hydropower, so cheap operating costs at 6 cents a kilowatt hour. Once again, purely green and really cheap. We have very simple metallurgy. This has been an operating mine before, and I think the reason the off-takers are really chasing our product, it is a clean con. We're getting up to 28% historically in our concentrate from a copper perspective, and 10 to 15 grams per tonne gold, so completely clean. And once again, I just can't stress how important and how quickly we've moved on that environmental permitting. This is a ready-made mine, ready to go. So here we are with the infrastructure. This is what we had before. We've done 2 kilometres of mine development that you can see there in sort of the light blue sitting to the right. We've drilled close to 15,000 metres of drilling. We've extended that resource to now to sit at 60 million tonnes at 2% copper, a world-class ore body with high grade. And what you will see coming out in the October-November resource update is the extensional drilling we're doing at the moment. So we've got 4 drill rigs sitting on the main ore body there, infill drilling. That's going to be the genesis of our study. That's going to come out in March, because we're going to get that measured and indicated from 24 million tonnes to substantially more. And you'll see the resource growth. As you can see, the grade and the intercepts are actually getting better at depth, which is great to see. 25 metres at 5% and 12.4 metres at 6.8%. So you can see, that's from the VMS system that it's sitting, really comfortably well and getting even better at depth, which is great to see. Very quickly on our regional prospectivity here, we've now got 2 drill rigs dedicated to regional exploration. We acquired close to 300 square kilometres around the Ming mine. There are 8 old mines that sit around there. We've punched 2 holes into this program because we've just commenced, and we've got all grade mineralisation already. You're seeing 12.9 metres at 4.2 grams per tonne gold, 0.5% copper, and then the 10 metres at 5.7 gold and 1.3% copper. So phenomenal intercepts. And if I show you in the long section there with Rambler mine beside the Ming mine, you can see those intercepts that sit below that Rambler mine. So we've got 1 drill rig now dedicated to extensional drilling on that. We're looking for the VMS continuation of that resource, which we think will continue. But let's not discount that we come across another one of those bulk ore bodies that sit there as well. So the exploration there is actually really exciting with 2 drill rigs. And then we look at the geophysics that we've completed over the last 6 months. The modern geophysics that has been conducted here is the first time it's been done. I mean, the technology that you've used in your mobile phones has come a long way in 20 years. Well, geophysics is no different. It's becoming sharper and more reliable. And as you can see there, we've got a number of untested targets that we've sit there, and it just is growing to sort of 325, untested targets there. And what's really exciting, and we've got 1 drill rig dedicated to the moment, is there's a number of untested Ming-orientated conductives trends that sit there along strike. So we will be drilling those, and we'll be hoping to come out with some numbers over the next 2 to 3 months. It's all getting very real. We are doing a study now. We've got some world-class consultants doing the study. We've got a study coming out in the first quarter of next year, which will be a PEA, and then we'll follow that up with a definitive study 3 to 4 months later. But that's on track. So our investors want to see a pathway to production, and we'll be able to show that in spades come March next year. So we are very catalyst rich. We've got 8 drill rigs going. You're going to see resource growth. You're going to see more drill intercepts. You're going to see studies, and you're going to see a number of intercepts that come out from those regional prospectivity, that big land package we've got. So strap in. We're going to go just as fast as we've done before, and we're well funded, and we look forward to presenting in the next 12 months on our update. Thank you.